It's a victory Monday. The Detroit Pistons are back, man. 120-87 victory over the Bucks because no other sports team played over the weekend, right, Flannel Sam?
Not a one.
Not a one.
Only thing that
from my memory, dog. Where are the men in black when you need them?
The only thing that happened was the Pistons. No, but seriously, a very mixed weekend. I think there's things that our teams can recover from and things that we can't. We'll talk about which teams fall under which categories as the show moves along. But, hey, at least the Pistons looked promising in their preseason debut.
Hey, they did. It's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. That right there is the vet of the squad. That is Flannel Sam. I'm your credentialed Pistons reporter, writer for the network. Hey, shout out that dude Justin. Shout out to Mr. Matt Broder as well. And we got the rest of the crew in the building. We're going to talk a little Pistons. But intern Chase, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great, man. I had a great weekend. I didn't have any issues with what happened on Saturday or Sunday. Of course not. I want to say a special shout out to my friends Mac and Haley who got married on Saturday.
What kind of state of Michigan man are you?
My team is up north in Mount Pleasant.
You didn't
fire up chips.
He's too happy for what happened to our striped friends there. For someone who works at the Detroit Zoo, you should feel something sad about these Detroit Tigers.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously that wasn't a great week. I'm not so much thinking about that. Like I said, Saturday I went to a wedding. I want to say shout out to my friends Mac and Haley celebrating their matrimony. So that's what I'm thinking about from Saturday, and then also that loss after the wedding on Saturday night. That was a fun game to watch.
I get it. That wedding served as a, you know what? It never happened. That Tigers game never happened. Shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. That is KG. What up, though, Black Hollywood?
Hey, rough weekend, man. But it was good from the standpoint that, got to out, do a couple things, see some family, hit on a parlay, some good in there. But overall, it's not a great weekend for the sports teams, man. But we ride. We ride.
And Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth.
Jay Bizzle.
Hey,
I don't know what y'all talking about. This is a great weekend. Come on.
You got the Woodward Pistons shout
Speak
out.
for yourself, big dog.
Woodward Pistons shout out once again. This is a great weekend. What are you talking about? We got WWE Bad Blood. We got UFC 307. Some team out in Ann Arbor played and lost. And Sunday was just a chill, relaxed day.
Mm-hmm. And just for the record, some team also went out and played in Eugene, Oregon as well.
Right.
So before you get on your high horse, there's a lot of suckage to go around this weekend. I'll just say
Talk to him, Sam. Talk to him.
A lot.
And you know what, man? I thought those Pistons were gonna get off to that kind of suckage as well. That first quarter was not pretty against the Bucks, but you know what? It was pretty cool to be back in the atmosphere. Got to see a lot of the people who do a lot of cool things around that arena, including the in-arena host. He's known as Kev Knows. Shout out to High Def Steph as well, their in-arena DJ and DJ Chachi. It was pretty cool to kind of get with those guys, Greg Kelser, Dwayne Casey, and others, man. And then to be right there on the court, seeing these guys warm up. It's a completely different vibe with these guys this year. And you could see it last night. No Tobias Harris, really no problem. I know the Bucks, it's not like they were putting forth that 100% A effort, but at least the Pistons showed some type of life.
I was about to say, what did you see basketball-wise out of this Pistons team that you like, that you think can maybe translate to the regular season?
Hustle and defense. When they settled in after that first quarter, including Ron Holland, after that first timeout, actually, when they brought in Malik Beasley and Ron Holland, the game just started to change. Ron Holland wanted to defend everybody, and he was getting all up in the jersey of Dame Lillard. And I was like, oh. And us in the media, we were like, yo, check this out. The Rook said it. And I remember, and I posted online as well, the thing that I asked him, one of the first things I asked him is, what skills do you believe will translate day one? He was like, defense. I saw that last night. I saw that he was all over the court, and his ability to turn defense to offense, get into the transition, and be just kind of this transition demon. I liked what the Rook put up, man. And then Jaden Ivey. The word I continue to use, and you're hearing these questions, is man on a mission. Man on a mission. Jaden Ivey looks like somebody who's not going to be denied this year at all. And I want to let you guys hear what Isaiah Stewart as well as head coach J.B. Bickerstaff had to say about Jaden Ivey as that man on a mission.
Jaden Ivey got off to a little bit of an uncertain start last year. Tonight, very, very aggressive. It looked like he was a man on a mission. Is this what you expect out of
and ferociousness? Like, he has no fear in attacking the rim, getting into the paint, and those types of things. And like, that's who we want him to be. And you know, also like the idea of him being one of the elite defenders in this league. There's no reason why he can't be. So just putting that pressure on him to go out, compete every day on that end of the floor, and then just be yourself offensively. You know, keep working and get better. But you know, his self is really is good enough for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
And you know what, Flannel, it was the end of that as well that really, really, really rung like alarms for me. As soon as I heard him say himself, referring to Jaden Ivey is good enough for us, it instantly brought back the vibes of Dan Campbell talking about Jared Goff. And I saw people, fans out there when we posted it, they were like, yo, this is giving those Jared Goff type vibes. And you got to think about it. Even though he hasn't switched teams, he's been through 3 different regimes, and one of those regimes absolutely threw him away. So to see Jaden Ivey last night look happy, look confident, and see that backcourt actually look good together, it was just like, okay. And because we all know, K can go for 30 or K can go for 15. He doesn't care. That's the spirit of Chauncey Billups. That to me is what makes K Cunningham very, very special when you're talking about putting the rock in his hands, because you saw a lot of other people thrive last night.
Sure, and this isn't a time, obviously, for anyone to do any preseason victory laps. Nope. However, what I will say is I'm
on victory lap 1 for Jaden Ivey.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? He played damn well yesterday. But I will say this. I've been somebody who has been wavering in my belief when it comes to Jaden Ivey, to the point where at parts during this offseason, it was damn near gone, or at the thought of Jaden Ivey or Cade Cunningham fitting together in a backcourt. However, you cannot get 2 more different coaching mindsets when it comes to Jaden Ivey, at least at first outset when it comes to JB perspective.
Preach about it, please.
Yeah, then Monty Williams and JB Bickerstaff, because Monty Williams, I mean, that was one of the hallmarks of the Monty Williams era, or the era that lasted 1 year, that Jaden Ivey was just fallen out of favor, was out of the rotation, wasn't starting at the opening of the season, and it just seemed like, for lack of a better term, that Monty Williams didn't really have use for him. Like, he wasn't good enough for Monty Williams, but he seems to be good enough for JB Bickerstaff. And you saw in a very short sample size, he played his ass off last night. He played phenomenally.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Wednesday when we get the legend Rod Beard on for the Woodward Pistons segment, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into these things, because last year, you guys, there's something internal here about Jaden Ivey and trying to get answers about Jaden Ivey and qualifications. Like, if he has a good game, can you commend that? JB Bickerstaff had no issue with doing that at all. He just went right to it, and I asked him, from the outside looking in as a coach, because I've heard you openly talk about Cade Cunningham as a coach from the Cavaliers sideline. I've also heard your perspective of B. Stu and Jalen Duren, but what about Jaden Ivey? Did you have some ways that you thought you could come in instantly and impact these guys? And he said, you know what? We got some things that we're working on. So it's cool to see after this first game, he's able to expound a little bit more. And Jaden Ivey, 3 of 3 from behind the arc in this game, 22 points, 6 of 8 field goals. He didn't need a lot of shots to make this happen. And that's the potential he possesses that JB Bickerstaff was talking about.
Of course. And obviously, I want Jaden Ivey to work out here. I would love it if Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey could be 2 pillars of the team moving forward, that when they're ready to win and be successful. And you see the talent. You've seen it over the last couple of years. Jaden Ivey, he's very explosive. I mean, one of the more explosive players, honestly, in the NBA. He just needs to hone that in and be a little bit more under control, I would say, when he goes up into the paint. And obviously, another thing with him is his shooting. Well, he shot 3 of 3 from three-point land in the preseason opener. And I get it. It's just preseason. Milwaukee didn't play with Giannis, all of that. But it was a rough weekend. I'm looking for some positives. And honestly, what else are we going to go off of when it comes to this Pistons team? Yeah. It's been revamped, the front office, the coaching staff. A lot of the players are different. I mean, with a Jaden Ivey, he's going from a coach who didn't like him to a coach that seems to believe in him to some degree. And I guess sometimes that's all that you need. Would I like to see it translate? Sure. But the way that they played last night, especially with a defensive edge and mentality, I love to see it.
Yeah, you asked me as well, what was it that I took away from that game last night? The coaching. It's clear. It is so clear. Before I throw it over to you, KG. That this team is so much better coached than they were last year. Like, this staff knows what to do with these players. Even looking at their individual drills at practices as well as before games, it is so clear, man. What up, though, brother?
Yeah, no, I just had a question for you. So I know it's just game 1 of the preseason, but how did you feel like the new additions to this team, showed up? In particular, what's his name? The two shooters.
Beasley?
Yeah, Beasley and
Hardaway.
And Hardaway, yeah.
Well, you know, now you talk about yin and yang last night in terms of the effects. And Hardaway is a rhythm player. So when you look at his offense, you don't really get too up or too down about one game with Tim Hardaway, especially the first game of preseason. Like Flannel Sam said, we don't take too many victory laps. He won't take any victory laps. But Malik Beasley, you saw exactly what he's going to be. He's a pros shooter. He came right off the bench, right off the timeout, and back-to-back threes. And what made me happy about those back-to-back threes is that the first one came off of hustle. They got 2 offensive rebounds in a row. Malik Beasley was ready. Splash. His 5 assists, 6 rebounds. It looked good. You got to be able to knock down that outside shot. But those things that I thought, you know what? I think he has some skills that could translate. He thought he did. We deliberated more. It looked good. But I liked Malik Beasley a lot. And I liked Tim Hardaway kind of pushing the tempo a little bit. Somebody who can come in off of the bench behind the Cade Cunningham and really push from that ISO standpoint.
Okay.
No, I was going to say with Malik Beasley and Ron Holland, those were 2 of the other standouts. I mean, Malik Beasley, out of all of the offseason acquisitions besides Tobias Harris, that was the one I was most excited about because he's been a dead-eye three-point shooter. He started on those very, very talented Milwaukee Bucks teams that probably would have went further. Well, definitely would have went further if it wasn't for injuries, and that gets me excited. And Ron Holland, yeah, he didn't shoot well from the outside, but as long as he's not 17% this year and he shows that ability to stuff the stat sheet, be an all-around player, add to the Pistons' defensive intensity, I'll take it. I would say that a lot of these players, at least when it comes to Beasley and Holland in particular, were what I would call on brand, about what you expected from them. And if we get what we're expected from those guys, I think that elevates the Pistons' ceiling to higher than maybe we think.
Hey, and you know, Dante151 with the $9.99 super chat.
Shout out.
And you know, he supports so much. And I know you've been waiting for Pistons season to get here. And obviously, with this being the first preseason game, we're going to pay a little bit more attention to this one than probably the others. We'll still make sure that we cover them. But Dante151, what really impressed me with Ivey is that one play where he went coast to coast for a basket in like 4 seconds. Also, even though it's preseason, I am hopeful for this season for the Pistons. Let's go. And you know what? Let's play that beef stew clip because he talks about the fact that Jaden Ivey, since the summer, whatever he's been working on in his individuals, when they came together as a team, Jaden Ivey's been a completely different player than last season.
Can you speak to just Jaden Ivey tonight? Very, very aggressive, getting to the rim. Got to the free throw line a lot tonight as well. I think 9 times. You speak to Jaden Ivey, just kind of looking like a man on a mission this year versus the uncertainty of last year.
No, most definitely. You know, J.I., even coming from, summer workouts and playing pickups, he's just been so just like what you said, on the mission. Nobody can stay in front of him. He's getting to the rim, and, that's how I like to see J.I. play. I think he got that mindset of nobody can stay in front of him, and he's gonna make something happen. He's gonna get to the rim. So, he's doing a great job, and just encourage him to do that every single game.
Yeah, you know what? And he's getting a stamp of approval so far from coach and from his teammates. It's not just about that one preseason game for them, but about the body of work that they've seen him put in over this summer. And hopefully, these are things that translate. But what makes me very optimistic is that J.B. Bickerstaff and his staff, attention to detail oriented, like seeing Fred Vincent working with Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, like on the mechanics, bro. Like they were about to go up to shoot, and Fred Vincent was like, oh, and then like changed his arm and his hips and all that. I'm like, and then shot. I was like, oh, Asar Thompson looks like his shot looks so much better, man. So much better. So there's things to be optimistic about, man.
Weird how that happens when you bring in Fred Vincent. It's not like it hasn't happened with others like a Brandon Ingram or a Herb Jones, just to name a few. And let's hope that it can happen with Asar Thompson and Ron Holland. But do you know where you always have a good time? That's second best bar, of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, you know what? Where's that second best bar? Because that is where you can join us for the Detroit Lions Woodward Sports pregame party.